Malcolm to read basically the history behind Valentine's Day, so people, can understand the origins and where this stuff stemmed from, the true history behind Valentine's Day. Why our people is always so quick to jump on the bandwagon with following after the ways of the heathens. So please blow this up. Everything that we teach is truthful, and everything that we teach can actually be proven as well. So please zoom that up a little bit more, Sister Malcolm, and I will highly appreciate it. I'm not going to hold y'all too much longer here. But all right, right there. So the dark origins of Valentine's Day, the dark origins of Valentine's Day. Let's get into this. All right, scroll down, Sister Malcolm, as I read. And if there's anyone else who would like to read, I would highly appreciate it. Y'all already know how I get down. You know what I'm saying? I like brothers and sisters to make sure that they're studying this stuff as well. Take some notes, because, this is what the development class and meetings is about. We want to make sure you're educated on this, on this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We want to make sure you're educated on this, on the origins of Valentine's Day and these pagan holidays. So that way you can spread the word to the next brother and sister. All right. So it says Valentine's Day is a time to celebrate romance, love, and kissy face fealty. But the origins of this festival of candy and cupids are actually dark. Of candies and cupids are actually dark, right? Bloody and a bit muddled. All right. Scroll down, Sister Malcolm. All right, it says, though no one has pinpointed the exact origin of the holiday, one place to start is ancient Rome. And this is what a lot of brothers and sisters don't realize, is that this is not our culture. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people are celebrating the Roman and Greek culture. The Roman and Greek culture. This is what you're actually celebrating and partaking after. This has nothing to do with the indigenous Aboriginal man and woman. This has nothing to do with the children of Israel at all whatsoever. You are being taught the ways of your oppressors. You are being taught the ways of the white man and their customs after they have stripped everything away from us. So once again, clear as day, this is a Roman custom. This has nothing to do with you, brothers and sisters. If you want to be free, you must unlearn the lies of the dang on oppressors. Again, the Roman celebrations were violent. From February 13th to 15th, the Romans celebrated the feast of Lupercalia. Okay, the men sacrificed a goat and a dog, then whipped women with the hides of the animals they had just slain. So this is the true root of Valentine's Day. The true root of Valentine's Day is the whipping and the beating and the domestic violence of women. This is what you're actually celebrating. This is what people is actually partaking after, and they're destroyed for a lack of knowledge. They don't dig deep into what they're actually partaking after. The root stems from whipping and beating women. And not only whipping and beating women, it gets even worse. It says the Roman romantics were drunk. So there you go, your wild parties. Your wild parties, they were naked. There go your lust and your wild parties. And there go your wickedness. There go your sinful acts on this wicked pagan holiday. Neo Linsky, now a religious studies professor at Yale University, told NPR in 2011, young women would line up for the men to hit them. Would line up for the men to hit them. And see, you have people today that's so caught up in American traditions and culture that they would try to cover this stuff up, and they would try to say, oh, it don't matter. This is about giving gifts and love and et cetera, et cetera. No, it does matter. Because you got to understand the root of what you are partaking after. There's a history behind every last one of these pagan holidays that we are partaking after as a nation of people. You ain't going to be able to know what a book about without reading it first. You can't judge a book by its cover. You got to read the book to learn what it's about. And this is the root of this wicked pagan holiday. Young women would line up for the man to hit them. Linsky said they believed this would make them fertile. You see this madness? They believe this will make them fertile because the Roman and Greek, they don't believe in the Creator. They don't believe in the Almighty at all whatsoever. So they put faith in a man hitting them to believe that that would make them fertile instead of putting faith in the Creator of all things. This is how brainwashed the Gentiles are. And that's why even the scripture itself says, learn not the way of the heathens or the Gentiles in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, as we have read many times. And also the Most High says the gods of the Gentiles are devils. So we must make sure we set ourselves apart from these devils immediately. You want freedom, you must make sure you teach your children and your household the importance on staying away from these people and what they practice, their culture, their traditions. This has nothing to do with us as a nation of people at all whatsoever. The brutal feat included a matchmaking lottery in which young men drew the names of women from a jar. The couple would then be coupled up for the duration of the festival or longer if the match was right. Scroll down, please, Sister Malcolm. The ancient Romans may also be responsible for the name of our modern day of love. See what I'm saying? So now you see where your hearts come from. You see where the hearts come from. The representation of the hearts that you see in the stores. You see what the representation of the candy hearts and all this other madness come from. You see what the representation of your Cupid shooting a heart and all this stuff comes from. All this stems from wickedness and the beating of women, the lust of women, the lust of each other. There was also homosexuality taking place in this madness. It says the couple would then be, all right, I read that part. It says the ancient Romans may also be responsible for the name of our modern day of love. Imperator Claudius II executed 2 men. Who did they execute? Let's see. Both named what? Valentine. What is today called? Valentine's Day. You're celebrating a day named after 2 men who was executed. Who was executed. That is the history of this man, Saint Valentine. People was executed on this wicked, pagan, dark, bloody holiday on February 14th of different years in the 3rd century. The martyrdom was honored by the Catholic Church with the celebration of Saint Valentine's Day. You see this madness? They were slain on this madness, on this wicked holiday, and look who takes the place to celebrate Saint Valentine's Day and make it into a holiday. The wicked Catholic Church, the same Catholic Church who enslaved and oppressed our ancestors and our people.
That's right.
Even till this very day. They just spread this Catholic madness all throughout Africa and all throughout the world. And here they go. They make this wickedness a national holiday. And our people celebrating this stuff blindly, not even knowing the history of the ancient chronicles of what they're partaking after. It says, as the holiday spread, continue to go down, Sister Malcolm. You was at the right place. As the holiday spread, it evolved. Later, Pope Gelasius I muddled things in the 5th century by combining St. Valentine's Day with Lupercalia to expel the pagan ritual. See that? So they, this is how they are. They always try to cover up their wickedness and the wicked history and all this other stuff, but they can't cover it up. The truth is out. The truth is out. These holidays have nothing to do with us at all whatsoever. And he clearly says, by combining St. Valentine's Day with Lupercalia to expel the pagan rituals. They know it's pagan. But the festival was more of a theatrical interpretation of what it had once been. Linsky added it was a little more of a drunken revel, but the Christians put clothes back on it. That didn't stop it from being a day of fertility and love. And that's your fertility of love, where it stemmed from. The whipping of these women, the lust that was going on, the love that was going on, that they was partaking in, the wild parties. That's your fertility of love and love that's going on. That's the representation of this, the true representation. But these people, they're not going to let go of their history, no matter how wicked it is. They're not going to let go of it. Just like their wicked leaders who have slain indigenous people. What do? They make it national holidays. They still celebrate. The wicked leaders who slain our ancestors, they still celebrate it. Just like they're still celebrating this wickedness. It says around the same time, the Normans celebrated Galatians Day. It says Galatian meant lover of women. That was likely confused with St. Valentine's Day at some point, in part because they sound alike. Sister Malcolm, please scroll down. It says, as the years went on, the holiday grew sweeter. Chaucer and Shakespeare romanticized in their work, and it gained popularity throughout Britain and the rest of Europe. Handmade paper cards became the tokens du jour in the Middle Ages. That's your cards and stuff that people be given with their gifts. It says eventually the tradition made its way to the New World. The Industrial Revolution ushered in factory-made cards in the 19th century. And the 1913 Hallmark cards of the Kansas City, Missouri began mass producing Valentines. February has not been the same since. Sister Malcolm. It says how we celebrate now. Today, the holiday is big business, but the commercialization has spoiled the day for many. Helen Fisher, a sociologist at Rutgers University, said we have only ourselves to blame. But notice, they said today the holiday is big business, and that's what these holidays is really. It's capitalization. It's capitalization. This is how they make majority of their money, off the people. The holidays play a major part in capitalization and them capitalizing off of black dollars and our funds, which have nothing to do with us whatsoever. Imagine if more brothers and sisters are aware of these pagan holidays and choose to set themselves apart from it and not celebrate it and not put their money into the pockets or into these holidays. Imagine how much money we would save and how much money they would lose. That's really what this stuff is. Capitalization, or capitalizing off of us. Because many of our people, they say you want to hide something from a black man, do what? Put it in a book. You want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book, because they don't want to read. Continue to scroll down, my beloved sister Malcolm. It says, this isn't a command performance. She said, if people didn't want to buy Hallmark cards, they would not be bought. And Hallmark would go out of business. And so the celebration of Valentine's Day go on in varied ways. Many will break the bank buying jewelry and flowers for their beloved. See that? Many will break the bank buying jewelry and flowers for their beloveds, not even having an understanding of where the origins of where this stuff stems from. Some will celebrate in the sad, that single awareness day way, dining alone and binging on self-gifted chocolates, while others will find a way to make peace with singlehood in a society that wants everyone to partner up. Scroll down, Sister Malcolm. So that's it that we have on behalf of the history of the ancient chronicles of this wicked pagan holiday. This madness has nothing to do with us. It's idol worship. You see, they were sacrificing animals, and not only sacrificing animals, they was beating their women. It was doing all this madness, and then not only that, it was murdering people on this wicked, pagan, dark holiday. And as you also seen, and as we also showed, the representation of your hearts, the representation of your candies, your flowers, and all that stuff, and where it stems from and what it actually represents. All of that stuff stems back to the Roman Catholic Church. The paganism, the gifts. The gifts was represented to the women that they were whipping on. the women that they had in lines waiting and all this other stuff. It's straight foolishness. And the only way that we as a nation of people will put an end, one of the ways that we can put an end to the generational curses is unlearning the lies and rebirthing the mind. Unlearning the lies that we've been taught. For example, our children is taught through their school systems. That's why my children is not going to school on February 14th. That's why on these holidays, these national holidays that they be having, and the schools be teaching them, they try to embed it into the minds of your children if you allow them to. If you are not paying attention, Valentine's Day is coming up. And the children have school on that day. And as soon as your children come into school, the teachers are already plotting and planning and also embedding into their minds the paganism by giving them gifts, by giving them hearts of candy, by teaching them, oh, give another student a heart of candy, or give this child this, and et cetera, et cetera. But they're not going to teach the children the true origins of Valentine's Day. They're not going to do it. So what we do in my home, in our household, is we do not allow our children to go to school on these pagan holidays whenever school is in session. We do not allow them to go to the school, and we make sure we educate the minds of our children by letting them know what they are partaking after and the history about it and the paganism behind it. That's how we start to put an end to the generational curse, is knowledge of self, and also turning back and learning our traditions, our culture, our heritage, and so forth. You know, the book of Leviticus.
That's right.
The book of Leviticus, it talks about and it speaks on our tradition, our culture, and our heritage. It speaks about it. And down the line, we're gonna actually get into the book of Leviticus 23. We're gonna get into it. And we're actually going to study, and we're actually going to learn and turn back to the tradition and culture that was stripped away from us. We're going to turn back into it, and we're going to learn what have been stripped away from us and taken from us. Because everything that we partake here in America, all this is European culture, tradition, idol worship, paganism, and that's all that it is. So is there any questions or concerns on today's class before we put a close to it or come to an end? Any brothers and sisters, if you have any questions or concerns, now is the time to ask and speak up. You got the floor. And if anybody want to add something to today's class, go ahead. Nobody?
No, sir.
All right, so what we have coming up here pretty soon as well, we have Sister Bree again. She will be holding class here. I forgot the day. It's not gonna be next week. I think it's 2 weeks from now. She will be holding class concerning financial literacy. All right, so and that will be held on a Thursday. So brothers, make sure y'all make yourselves available Thursday at 7 p.m. For the financial literacy class, and make sure that you bring your pen and paper so y'all can take notes, because this is a very beneficial class. Also, brothers, if you have wives as well, have your wives join the sisterhood development classes on Friday. Now I've moved from Thursdays to Friday because a lot of people voted, and a lot of sisters voted and said that Fridays work better. Friday at 7 o'clock. So brothers, just make sure that if you got wives, you got a girlfriend or something, have them join the sisterhood development classes on Friday. All right, because we want more sisters involved and more sisters on board and on one accord to continue to spread the word and gossip, but also to learn knowledge of self as well. The sisterhood development class is very, very important when it comes to our sisters. All right. So, don't be afraid. Reach out to your wives, reach out to your girlfriend. If if you have one. And even if they have friends or somebody that knows someone, make sure y'all bring more and more sisters into the class and let them hear in and see if they like it. And if they like it, make sure they continue to spread the word so we can continue to build our sisterhood. All right. So with that being said, assalamu alaikum, shalom, peace and blessings, and hotep, that's greetings in many different languages. And with that being said, I love y'all, brothers and sisters, and peace and blessings to your household, and may the Most High cover you all. That being said, shalom.
Shalom, brother.
Shalom, peace, blessings, brothers and sisters.
Peace and blessings, brother Henry.
Peace and blessings, my brother Leland.
Yes, sir.
Shalom, peace and blessings, brothers and sisters.
Shalom, shalom.